Hi and welcome to another 5-minute session, and this time about word space, object space, and why I use the texture coordinate in some occasions but use the node geometry in other occasions. So what is a space? Well, space is how you measure something in your scene, and if you're working with word space, you are working with the measurement for the scene. So it's a static measurement where we can say that the center is where I have the cursor here, where we have like 0, 0, and then it increases in the y-axis if you go to the right, and it decreases in the y-axis if you go to the left, and the same for the x-axis and the z-axis. And we can see that by using the geometry, because the geometry is working in word space. So if I take the position here, take it to the surface, and then I move this. So I take G, Y, move it, and then you can see it's like scrolling through some static background where we get a brighter thing out here because we have a higher number. And if I go to the left, we get then more dark. And when it's like this, then it's negative. You can also see that this works on all directions. So if I take it up, it gets brighter, and if I take it down, it gets more dark, because we are working, as I said, with a static measurement that can tell that you have one object here that is in a very low value for the position, and another one that is in a high value here. So it tells where in the word do we have our stuff. That is word position. So what is an object position? Well, object position is something that is measure the distance and everything from the center of the object. So an object space is center for the green one, then it's a center here, but we have another measurement for this object space. So we can have multiple object spaces because every object has its own space, its own way to measure things. And you can see that by using texture coordinate object, because that will also get a position. And you can see now they are the same here. It doesn't matter where they are in the map, but it matters how it is inside the object. So you have still some measurement where you can see that, okay, it looks like it goes more in the y direction, positive here because we get more green on this side, and it goes more in the x direction here because we go more in the, we get a higher number in the x direction here for this axis. So it's like an internal map for the position for each object. So that is object space. And you can say that if you're working with texture coordinate, then everything is in object space. But if you're working with geometry, everything is in word space. So that means that we have a normal that is in object space for texture coordinate, but the same name, normal, is here in word space. So if I do like this, that I take this normal and drag it to the surface here, then this will be the same for these objects here. And if I then rotate it, so let's say that I rotate this, then you can see the blue one down here is now following the rotation because we are rotating our object. And you can see the rotation is not applied, meaning that this is still up for the object. If it should be in word space, then it will always be set up here. It will not change even if I rotate this. And that you can see if I then take the normal from the geometry, because that is in word space. So as soon as I put that in, it doesn't matter when I rotate. You can always see that the blue will be in the top. So regardless of what I do, I will always get the normal from the right way. So it doesn't matter if it's upside down or how we have done this object or placed it, because it's still measured from the word space, so we still have the same normal. So that is the difference between the texture coordinate, which is object space, and this that is from word space. However, we can transform, so that is, if you go to Shift A, vector, then you have something called transform, and you get this one. So you can transform. So if I have a position that is in word space, like this one, and I have a position that is in object space, like this one, I can convert this. So if I put in this, so we say it goes from object space to word space, then we have the same thing in both of these. So suddenly I have word space out from this one. So that was a really small introduction, and I can talk a lot more about this, but now you have a hint about texture coordinate, geometry, word space, and object space. And my 5 minutes are gone, so I say bye for now, see you tomorrow.